together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion.
In our opinion. Now, we want to remind you, if you haven't already, you want to subscribe to us on YouTube, because if you're 40, 50 years old or older, we're going to be providing you with a lot of videos on how to maintain your fitness and health as you go into those elder years.
Right, and it comes from years of experience in the therapy world as well as personal experience from us.
That's right, we're mightily fit. So today we're going to talk about the tricep and just some basic things about strengthening the tricep. One thing you want to remember about strengthening muscles, if you're really trying to build muscle, it needs to break down first.
Sure.
And when muscle breaks down, it then needs a recovery period. So if you're going to do your triceps, let's say on a Monday, you're not going to want to do triceps again on Tuesday, and probably not even Wednesdays. You probably you can do it again on Thursday. You want a 24 to 48 hour rest.
I think it depends on how seriously
it depends how serious you work. I mean, if you're just doing toning, you could do that probably every day.
Right.
Wouldn't you agree?
Right, yeah. Because I think some of the people that are going to tune in on this aren't going to be seriously looking at developing muscle bulk.
If you're looking at bulk, if you're,
right.
I mean, most women probably don't want it that way. For the women, what are we trying to get rid of, Brad?
And I hear this a lot, when they wave, and you get done waving, and you got this still flopping around
still waving
there,
yeah.
And they say, how can I get rid of this? Well, we're going to show you how to work those tricep muscles from some simple,
some
easy techniques right from the beginner to some advanced techniques. So let's start out with the simple ones that you can do at work, you can do at home. I wouldn't do them driving the car though.
Well, let's first talk about what the tricep does. The
right.
tricep, actually tri means 3, and it has 3 attachments.
Mm-hmm.
So and you don't need to know that, but one of the main things the tricep does is it extends the arm.
Right.
Okay?
So if I'm pushing,
yeah,
you push.
You've got to give resistance.
Right
now the tricep is working. It's not this movement coming back. That's where the tricep actually does bring the arm down a little bit into extension and adduction too. You don't need to know that.
He's getting technical again. He's very, very.
So what should we start off? Should we try with the TheraBand?
Yeah, I think the TheraBand is one of the most efficient and the cheapest way to do it, and very effective.
Yeah, TheraBand is just a stretch band.
Or you can use a tube. They sell them.
TheraTube.
Yeah.
TheraBand was probably one of the first to come up with this,
Sure.
and that's why we always say their brand name. Although there's a lot of other stretch type
right.
stretch bands. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can attach it to a doorway, or you can just hold on to it like this.
Right.
And if I were to go like this, and Brad, you're going to be in danger zone here, but I'm just, can you see how I'm getting resistance and I'm strengthening the muscle?
Yeah, right there. That's working right there. Purely tricep.
What do you say? How many reps, Brad?
I would go at least 15. You need to go up to 20.
Yeah, if you're doing toning, you could probably do more. I mean, if it's a light.
If you're doing 50, 60 of them, I would increase the resistance and decrease the reps.
Right.
Cut it down to, 20, maybe 30, but, you
want to be working a little bit there.
Right. What about the other arm?
The thing about the thing about TheraBand is, you can do a single strand and it's not that hard. Depending on what color you have, the darker the color, generally the harder it is.
Right.
Or you can double it up and that automatically makes it harder.
And the other thing, and I work with patients that I always have to remind them, is people will grab it and they'll start doing this. And that's not going to cut it. You need to get the range of motion in, bring it up to here, and shorten up that resistance and get that full range and work it all the way through. Don't cheat yourself and do these little baby ones.
All right, well, let me go to the barbell next. Okay, I'm not a big fan of this.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. I just don't like what it does to the shoulder.
Right.
The shoulder, you get shoulder impingement, I think, on a lot of people. Yeah. And I used to know this therapist, by the way, just a little quick story. He was a shoulder expert, and he said he used to go around to people in the gym that were doing these, and he used to hand them his card because he knew they'd be coming to see him pretty soon. So anyway, I think a better way is to lay down and do these.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I were to lay down, and you can go like this, you got to go against gravity. So I'm going against gravity, I'm just straightening here, or you can go across like this.
Sure.
You want to maintain form.
Now, just let's go back this way so they can see it better. Make sure that this part of your arm is straight up and down. Don't get it cocked this way or this way. So that's up and down. Actually, go this way about right there. Go ahead. And, you know, I'll hold someone's arm so they get the idea of this.
That's a good idea, because I actually felt like this was up and down.
Yeah, exactly.
This is harder.
Right. Now, the big thing is here, this is a little funny, but it's not. If this weight comes down and it bonks you in the head,
Right.
there's a problem there. That's concussion. We have a video on that too. But, yeah, so be careful with this. You know, it could be dangerous that way.
Keep myself out.
Yep. And
Okay.
again, make sure you get all the way down and all the way up. Better do the motion slow with good control as opposed to getting sloppy and shortening it up.
Now let's say, Brad, somebody has a bench and a bench press, and they have the weights in the bar. You want to hand me the cane?
Oh, sure.
Now, when you're doing bench press, you actually are doing triceps too. Can you see that, how you're straightening the arm? You're also strengthening the chest.
Right.
But if you are a heavy-duty lifter, you don't want to do bench press on one day and then do triceps the next day, because you are overlapping then. I mean, you're going to want to, a lot of people will do chest and arms on the same day.
Sure, yeah.
And then they'll wait, again, for 24 to 48 hours before they do anything again. If you want to concentrate more on triceps when you're using a bar and weights, you can go like this, which again, you want to make sure it's pretty light, otherwise you're going to bop yourself on the head. Or you can just do like this.
What he did, you may not be able to see it in the camera, but he slid his hands closer together. Mhm.
It's taking the chest out. I mean, the chest is still working, but the chest is not working, it's not as good a mechanical advantage as it was
Right.
when it's out like this, so you're working more triceps
Sure.
this way.
And how many reps are you gonna do that, Bob?
Well, less probably. If you're working, you know, with a bar and weights, you're gonna probably, sometimes they do a ladder, you know, they'll start
Right.
with 8 and go down to 2 or
Right.
1.
For the general rule of thumb, when I learned to get my certified, certificate for certified strength and conditioning specialist is 8 to 12 repetitions, 3 sets if you wanna start building mass. If you wanna get more into endurance, it's 15, maybe 20 reps at the most. And if you really wanna get strength, then you increase the rate dramatically and go down to, you know, the 1 to 3 reps. And you can throw pyramids in there, but that's getting a little more complicated than we want for this video.
What a big shot here, all those initials behind his name. Okay, why don't we, the other thing, which is a higher end thing, is doing
Right.
push-ups, and especially the diamond push-up.
Sure.
So,
So this is what I like to do, push-ups, and I'm just gonna do them on my knees first. If you haven't done a lot of push-ups before, this is a great way to start. Make sure your back is straight as opposed to arched this way or this way. In your regular push-up, you can do like this, and that's working it like Bob
Again, the
said.
closer the arms.
Yeah. You can go in the diamond, you may not be able to see it, but what I have is my fingers, pointer fingers and thumbs are just like that. I call it a diamond push-up. And what I like to do with this, I like to get my chest, so my sternum goes right to that point and back up. And that makes it quite a bit harder, and I feel my triceps working quite well. And then you can do them on your, the regular GI push-up. You can get the Swiss ball out, the exercise ball. We got a video on that, and you can incorporate the ball for even more advanced people. So it's from all levels, from the TheraBand to this, get those triceps worked out, get that flab from moving away, and have a good time with it. Anything else, Bob?
no, that should do it. Thanks.